Don't let your past define you, whether it's mistakes, decisions you made, paths you took down in life. Don't get hung up on, oh, I'm this kind of person because I did this, and that in the past. Maybe you did some bad things. Maybe you made some wrong decisions. That doesn't define who you are today. At that point in time, whether it was months ago, years ago, you were a different person. Hopefully, you went through life, you learned new things, and you grew and became a new person, and you're not that person anymore. So just because you fail at something you did, I always like using sports analogies because they're pretty easy to relate to. So just because last week you went and you played basketball and you sucked ass, you didn't make a single shot, you had like 10 turnovers, you sucked, you made your team lose the game every time, doesn't mean that because you go today, you're like, oh damn, I suck, no one's going to pick me up, I'm not going to play. Today's a brand new day. Today, show up early, take a couple shots. Maybe you make all your shots in the game. Maybe you win. You help your team win the game. You see, you're a different person today. You made your shots. You played well. You won some games. But last week, you were just losing every game. Last week, you were the worst player on the court. But this week, you're the best player on the court. So don't let your past define who you are. You can always grow. You can always learn. And don't get hung up on, oh, this happened before, so it's going to happen again. It's not going to happen again because you're going to take a new path, a new approach, and a new perspective on that same thing and try to accomplish the same goal or whatever it is that, you want to do. So there's always room for improvement, and there's always room to be a new person. Look back on your life. Think about who you were a year ago. If you're like, oh, who the fuck was that person? I don't know that guy. Then you're doing good. You're growing. If you feel like you're the same as you were a year ago, 2 years ago, then look around. How can you improve? How can you improve your personal relationships, your career, your hobbies, your health? And one time I was at a job, I was working, and one of my coworkers told me this quote. He said, whenever you're at a job or a place, whatever, look around you. If you're the smartest person in the room, it's time to go. You always want to surround yourself with people that are better than you because then it rubs off. They say that you're the 5 friends that you surround yourself with, and that also applies to being successful. If you have bad influences in your life, you're probably going to make bad choices. But if you have good influences in your life, you're probably going to make good choices, and that their greatness is going to rub off on you. So surround yourself with a great support team, and if it's going to help you grow. So don't get hung up on the past and surround yourself with great people if you want to be great.